Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. Daps.
And I'm Johnny 5.
And I'm Cameron.
And why are you Johnny 5 tonight?
Because yesterday we went to Disneyland with my cousin from Scotland and his family, and my mom and Nathan and Johnny and my grandma, who hasn't been to Disneyland in forever.
Nice.
And we took her in a wheelchair and we actually got on 5 handicap accessible attractions,
Cool.
which I wasn't expecting at all. We were expecting to like watch people in line and save spots and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, I haven't been with somebody in a wheelchair at Disneyland. I didn't know that the Jungle Cruise has like a mechanism.
Oh yeah, it's cool.
I've never seen that before.
You get your own boat practically.
Basically, yeah. Small World has a thing that they control from the tower through some Wi-Fi wizardry that I've never seen before in my life.
Otherwise known as magic?
Yeah, magic. I don't know.
Yeah, you know, Disney.
Wi-Fi magic.
Yeah, sure.
There's physical contact magic, and then
Yes.
there's Wi-Fi magic. It's just a category. And we went on the Mark Twain, which doesn't have a mechanism because
that doesn't really change things, does it?
We went
She just always gets a seat that way.
We went on Winnie the Pooh 1.5 times, and
Wait, 1.5 times?
1.5.
We're listening.
We got through the first half, and then had to stop and start again from the beginning.
Did you or just
backed
give up, or
Basically,
Like,
basically.
okay.
Wait, did they back you up?
No, we got basically halfway, and then it stopped, and we got to walk out, but the wheelchair can't.
Yeah.
So we had to get it back on, and they went through the rest of the ride, and then got to go another time to see the whole thing working.
Okay. So they got to go twice.
Yeah,
But you got to go one.
But
and a
my
half.
grandma was in a wheelchair in a beehive, and you can't get her out, and you can't just leave them there. So a cast member sat with my grandma for a good 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Anyone who knows my grandma,
How many stories?
a lot,
Okay.
quite a few. To people who have never met her, it was very delightful.
I'm sure.
I wasn't in that car though, that beehive, so I don't know what all was said, but I'm sure it was delightful.
Although I do have to say, having worked Winnie the Pooh and escorted a guest with a wheelchair on that vehicle and stayed with them during an evac, you hear the best stories.
Right?
Yes, you're making a best story.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Exactly.
true. Very
And
cool.
it was her and my 4-year-old Scottish niece, first cousin in the... my cousin's daughter.
Sure.
So
Go with
both
that.
of them telling the stories. So
Nice.
It was pretty cool. Yeah.
And two similar but the same,
Exactly.
but not languages.
Yeah. There were 4 generations of the Owens family.
That's awesome.
Technically, yeah.
Cool. Very cool. So if you'd like to join in the conversation, I see it's
World's
already
longest
going.
fundraising.
Get on Twitter, use the hashtag Geeks Corner. We'll try to keep up with that. We've got a couple people in here that'll wave at me if something's happening that's exciting, and I'll also try to watch. What?
I'm waving at
I'm
you.
waving at you.
You're not on Twitter.
I know.
Okay.
Boys' night.
And we've got somebody watching at their cabin.
Ooh,
How cool is
Sweet.
that? Like, that gives automatic... I think that wins.
Yeah.
Thank you for welcoming us into your home away from home.
While you're on vacation.
As you
Like,
commune
that
with
might be-
nature.
I don't know, that might not be a first, but it feels like it could be. So Disneyland celebrated its 60th anniversary on Friday.
Yeah.
And they had a ceremony at 10 a.m. that we got there at, some people, Murray got there at like 4, and I got there at 6, and I still got the same spot as him somehow. I'm
Did
not
you guys
really
buy
sure.
the pin?
No.
No. Oh.
Do I usually buy a pin?
No.
Okay. And so they had a ceremony. It was lovely.
Did you guys sing Happy Birthday?
We did.
Good. You
We
should.
sang Happy Birthday, and a bunch of characters came out, and they shot confetti at us, and it landed everywhere, and it was magical. And Richard Sherman accompanied Ashley Brown, who sang Feed the Birds, and she was Mary Poppins on the Broadway.
There we go.
The Broadway circuit. I guess it was when it was first out on Broadway. And that was really nice, too. And then they also started this $1 million Dazzle thing where they're giving away $1 million to charity local this coming year. And so they gave 30 or 60,000
To the Girl Scouts, right?
To the Girl Scouts. Right. And I guess the Girl Scouts didn't even know they were getting this. They just knew they were going to Disneyland. And then they went to,
Wow.
and then they get to Disneyland and they're like, here's $60,000. Like, can you imagine that? Not only do you get to go to Disneyland,
That's
but then they
pretty good.
give you a $60,000 check. I think it's awesome. So they're going to give out the rest of the money throughout the year. What are we looking at?
I would like my 60. I went to Disneyland. Where's
How many cookies is Disneyland getting? Because it's like Samoans,
How
Fantasyland.
how many cookies is $60,000?
Huh?
I just got excited about it.
So what is that? Is it's $6 or is it $8 for a box of Girl Scout
It's
cookies?
6.
So is that 10,000 boxes of
Or
cookies?
five
Let's say it's 6. That's like 10,000.
6 for the good ones.
Let's say 10 to 12,000 boxes of cookies.
That's a lot of dough.
So that's like two of us in the same TARDIS.
Yes.
So that's like a good week and a half of Girl Scout cookies to eat.
Yeah. Maybe.
Assuming it's just us.
Yeah, if it's just the three of us.
Yeah.
What were you assuming? Were you gonna share? I'm not gonna share.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. Get your own $60,000.
We're working on
So then it also was the unveiling of new costumes, new shows for the Disneyland band, and it was a lot of fun. They're kind of like a college band light now, and you can check them out on our YouTube channel.
So, would they be like a community college band?
Yeah, pretty much, because the choreography is not quite as intense. Like, it's the direction of the college band, but they like don't bend their knees quite as far, and they don't lean over quite as far. It's true though. I was noticing. I went and watched them today. I'm like, they're a lot like the college band. They just don't quite push it quite as hard. And so if the college band energy and craziness is up here, they're kind of like halfway.
What would be at the bottom of that scale?
I don't know.
You have to have both endpoints before we can make a logical
The bottom
comparison.
would be like the symphony band sitting,
Okay.
on a stage, not moving, very serious. No, a military band would be the bottom. Like, they're very serious most of the time, aren't they? Like,
In terms of their choreography and dance moves.
yeah.
Why are you both looking at me for this?
Because you
I
have
was
a
looking
military
at
band,
him,
right?
and he's clearly
At
passing
home?
the buck.
Here we are.
In the wall drawing tonight, I see you there. Disney Smurf 12 is from Haley, who is not with us because she's going out of town this week. But before she left us a giant diamond D to celebrate.
Will she be back next week?
I hope so.
Should I draw more art? I'm good at draw art.
She's supposed to be back on Monday, so we'll
Okay.
see. I'll let you know. You might get to.
Big number 5.
Yes.
What's up?
Yes. So
Boys' night.
They
Hashtag boys night.
So they have, I think it's like 4 sets that they do throughout the day, and there's a couple in Town Square and in front of the castle, and then Frontierland also,
Nice.
because that's where marching bands go all the time.
Here's a story. We wheeled through Frontierland, and as they were playing,
Did you do a theme song while you're wheeling your grandma around? 'Cause
they did it for us.
Oh, okay, there you go.
We wheeled her past as they were doing the Zorro theme song.
Isn't that cool
Which
that they do that song
My
though?
grandmother
awesome.
sings along with. So once we
Oh,
pointed
so
it
she
out
knew
to
the
her,
words.
she started jamming.
I don't remember the words, but I remember the show.
Out of the night when the full moon is bright comes a horseman known as Zorro.
You really need to do the dance too.
There is no dance. Zorro does not dance. He fights for
But
justice.
the other people do.
There are
though.
tamales.
Tamales, hot, 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 hot.
William Fonda says, I miss the classic feel of the band. They don't need 2 of the same styles of band. But see, it's college band and college band light, William. See, there's a big difference.
And that's light, L-I-T-E, by the way.
Coke and Coke Zero,
Hashtag. I don't know.
Hashtag Octothorpe College Band.
Yeah, college band.
Community College Band.
No, but they are a lot of fun, and
AP class band.
and they do a little bit of everything.
Thank you.
And they do a march down the street that's fun. I'm amazed at how many people join the march down the street. Because I was kind of like, oh, let's see what happens. And like this wall of people follow the band, and it reminds me. Have you ever seen Follow Me Boys? It's an old Disney movie.
No.
At the end of it, they all march off together singing Follow Me Boys, and it totally feels like that. It's like an old Disney movie, and it totally works.
I still want to see a like all of the musical acts of Disney congealing together and do How Do You Know He Loves You from Enchanted.
It's kind of like a flash mob sort of thing.
Like with cast members? Is
They
this what
have
you're
yes,
suggesting?
Flash
that was a
mob
missed
pre-parade.
opportunity. They should have
Absolutely.
done that on the 60th anniversary
Yeah.
because they always did
Trash
the flash
can
mob
trio.
for the last few years, and that could have been like a legit thing. Like, I think that's a great idea.
Listen to me, Disney.
Everybody tweet at Disneyland today and tell them on Geeks Corner tonight they talked about this flash mob and what it is, and just bombard them.
This is it, and I just threw it down.
So after we watched the band, we went and we watched the pre-parade that was a celebration of Disneyland cast members from 1955 and onward, because there was people from back then and people from today and characters
Is there
in
anyone
cars.
still working there today who is working at opening day? Because I could see that happening.
Very close, though.
Yeah, but not quite.
Oscar.
Couple of chefs, I think.
What year was he?
56. So
Okay.
very
Oh, wow.
close.
And where does he work?
Missed it by that much.
Okay.
That's not menu.
Not 56 years, 19.
And it was nice because he hit him in the front seat of the,
Of the omnibus,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that was a fun thing.
And
that-
even the legends were having a blast.
Yeah, it was really fun to watch them enjoy being recognized and celebrated. And one thing I thought was interesting and kind of cool was after the whole thing went by, then the president of the park or the resort walked by, and he was just kind of walking down, enjoying watching people enjoy. And I was like, that's cool. Like, no entourage, no nothing. He's just walking down the street, and I don't think most people.
He was
even
walking
knew who
right
he
down
was.
the middle of Main Street, USA.
He was on the side.
Oh. Walking
Otherwise-
right down the side of Main Street, USA.
If he did walk down the middle of Main Street, USA, I would expect him to sing it.
By himself, no accompaniment.
I want to see that on the parks blog. That would go viral probably. That would.
For the 12 people who
They could have
understand the
him
joke.
do that here, and George Calgaritas do it over in Florida, and then they could make it a mashup, and you could have the.
A competition is what this is.
Yes, there you
Yes.
A walk-off.
It's a walk-off.
go. Yeah,
A
and
walk-off right down the middle of Main
Caitlin
Street.
Noel says she needs that flash mob in her life.
Right?
So, we
We all
tweet
need
at
it.
Disneyland today, everybody, and tell them with hashtag Geeks Corner that you want this flash mob.
We already have the balloon trees. I mean, what else do you need besides talent and organization?
That's overrated.
Hey, we've been doing this show for 5 years without any of that.
We all do it on the fly. It doesn't matter. What do we got next? Oh, Ant-Man. Should
Yes.
we talk about Ant-Man?
Speaking of the fly.
They also had dancing in the evening. I forgot. 50s styles dancing in the evening.
Nice.
As our camera goes off again. It's back. I don't know what's going on.
Twice!
Twice. Let's see if we
Within
do it
10
5
minutes.
times.
Hey!
Keep a count. See how many times the
Two.
camera blinks. If it happens 5 times, we'll have the count on the show.
Yes.
Or at least we'll invite him.
I was going to say, be careful what you wish for. 'Cause
You can
people
have
remember. And
the
they
Count
tweet.
from Sesame Street?
Yeah.
That guy sucks.
I like the count.
He's a vampire. Part of his
Ah,
character is that he
Waka
drinks
Waka.
blood, although I don't think that ever happened.
So Ant-Man.
Ant-Man, I enjoyed it.
You saw it Saturday, I saw it last night, and you enjoyed it.
Yes. I enjoyed it because to me, it is the first time we've gotten an origin story since like 2011.
It's been a
For
while.
the
Well,
first
since
Cat
phase
movie.
1. Yeah.
The first Cat movie was
Yeah.
the last time we got an
You're
origin
right.
story. We didn't get an origin for the Falcon. Guardians of the Galaxy doesn't count as an origin. It's how the team formed.
Yeah, it's
but it's
kind
not
of
how
a-
the heroes became
Okay.
heroes.
It
You
kind
know.
of is, though. It's a gray.
None of the people like get new powers and have to figure out how to use them. Versus
Okay, I'll
Captain
give you
America,
that.
Thor,
Yeah.
and Hercules is the thing in my head, but that's wrong. Iron Man. I'm like, why is it Thor and Hercules? They hang out.
That's the Marvel character
What
that
about
needs
the
to come back.
3!
Three.
Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, but it's
No,
so.
you have an interesting
So we
point
haven't
there.
had a good origin story since Captain America: The First Avenger.
Yeah.
So I liked seeing a new person deal with what do you mean there's a super suit and
Now,
blah blah blah.
I haven't seen the movie yet.
Then you don't get to talk.
Okay.
But you do get to ask questions, so go ahead.
But my question is how does Paul Rudd hold up to the superhero mantle? Does he
does,
okay?
Surprisingly well. Like, I kind of came in with low expectations for him. Just like, it's Paul Rudd, it'll be fun to watch. But by the end of the movie, it's like totally believable, and you see the development of it, and it made sense. And
And the character that he's playing is kind of a schlub, and he is in a world where we're aware of superheroes. You know, he makes a lot of really direct references to
Other
things that have
things.
happened in other movies that are in every newspaper in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, you know, knowing all of this exists, and then it's all the why me? Why am I the person who has to go do all this stuff?
and it didn't take itself too seriously.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
I really like that too,
You
because
talked about a superhero who shrinks down and talks to ants.
I know,
You
and
have
that's
to be
where
funny a
it
little
could have
bit.
fallen apart completely. And I liked that it didn't get too serious. Like, it was a serious 4.
Thor!
I don't know what's going on. Maybe we have a connection that's bad or something.
It's
and we're
the
not
ghost!
5.
It's found us!
There's five.
I think it is a connection, perhaps. But I did like that it wasn't taking itself too seriously, and it moved along really nice too. It wasn't
Yeah.
too long. Like, I will admit, Ultron, there was a few times where I was kind of like, all right, let's move along. This don't care about the city in the sky, and
City in the Sky. 6!
yeah,
We won't ask the count anymore
down there.
because it's more than
I don't
5.
know. But
I
good.
also liked that the stakes were high. It was definitely the fate of the world rests with us, but they weren't so high that, I think the question, can I...
Well, it was an
It's not a
implication
spoiler.
thing as opposed to a
it's
actual.
if we don't stop this now, it'll become something
a
the
snowball
Avengers
effect.
need to happen.
Yeah.
So it definitely, because I think now that we've had an Avengers movie, every movie has to answer the question of, well, why don't the Avengers take care of this? Why do we need a new superhero? Why do we need?
What do you think of Hank Pym?
I liked him. The first scene really threw me off because
Which was awesome.
I don't know how
Try
much I
not
want
to spoil it, but just
I don't want to. There's a lot of effects in the first scene
that were really
that are
well
not.
done.
They're not like explosion kind of special effects, but there's a lot of computer work done on several levels, and that it took me a minute to figure out what I was looking at, but. I felt like I liked that character.
And
It was a good
worked
balance
really
for
well.
Paul Rudd. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was happy.
And there was good growth. I felt like all of the characters had good growth throughout too, that made sense, as opposed to sometimes you see where they're like here and then somehow they jump over here just because one thing happened. And it was incremental and it grew and it made sense. And even like turning points in the movie, there wasn't a huge like jump. There was no leap that was weird. It was
So they didn't sacrifice story for the sake of, oh, look at this cool effect of me being tiny type stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely
Okay.
not at all.
Good.
6.
7.
Seven?
We're up to 7
Oh, I'm
now.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's down there. Sorry, Murray. But no, I thought, because it got rewritten, if I recall.
Oh, did it?
Pretty last,
yeah,
like, it was a pretty compressed timeline for the movie, and I kind of think it worked in its favor because it was shorter, it moved along quicker, there wasn't a lot of fluff, there weren't too many things that just went all over the place, and so I thought it was good.
If we can actually make it turn off and on faster, we can almost do a flipbook type of effect.
Oh, it's just the okay.
Oh, just that's going on and on? So we're
counting.
fine. The
Wow.
camera's great. Just our monitor is going in and out.
Oh,
That's
okay.
good to know.
Well, that's an easy fix.
I wish we had known that before we started counting.
We must look crazy.
What are you talking about? Nothing's going wrong tonight.
We have number Tourette's is all it is. 5.
Have you not seen the show?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, so 2 thumbs up. That's what I'm going to give it.
Yeah, I would give it 2 thumbs up.
How would you rate it to other Marvel movies?
I refuse to ever rate the Marvel movies. Just
Top,
because
middle, or bottom?
I take them all as one story, and I can't. It would be like
Even
rating.
the Hulk?
Hulk happened before we started
Nope,
doing
it
phase.
happened after Iron Man.
I'm not talking. Well, and Captain America happened over here. I'm just saying there was a Hulk movie that happened a long time ago. We haven't had a Hulk Phase 1 movie.
It was after Iron Man. I looked at it this morning.
Your face looked at it this morning.
Yeah, I know, it was weird. I made an iTunes playlist, and I was like, the Hulk's after Iron Man.
The
How did that
soundtrack is after
happen?
Iron Man.
Maybe.
Because they didn't care about
There
it.
was just no music
Way
for 2 years?
off of more.
Somebody's looking it up, I hope. Let us
On
know
Twitter. They're
when-
going to tweet
when
angrily at me.
The Hulk was. I think it was actually after.
At Geeks Corner, #Boys Night.
Is that with a Z or an S? Is it? Are we going
Both.
traditional?
You have to do 2 hashtags.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mikey
Fair.
Likey says it felt like a great way to both end Phase 2 and begin Phase 3 all at the same time. I agree with him. I can't imagine that would be easy to do. Yeah, they did it really skillfully, and they also opened some doors for future things that could go literally anywhere.
Yeah.
And we'll leave it at that without giving away.
Also, stay through the credits.
all the way through the credits.
This is
'cause
every Marvel movie.
3/4 of the theater left through the after the first half of the credits, and they missed the second half.
Yeah, there are 2 tag
Yeah.
scenes.
So
I
don't-
won't tell you what they are, but know that there are 2 of them.
Yeah. Yeah. So, speaking about more movies, let's go on from a really great movie idea to perhaps some interesting ones. They've announced that there's going to be more live-action remakes of Disney movies, one being an Aladdin prequel and one being Sword in the Stone. Initial thoughts, go, Johnny.
Next topic
Go.
is what? Good Dinosaur? So the Good Dinosaur trailer came out.
No,
So my official stance has become, I think we are just going to see a live-action movie of every movie in the Disney canon.
is there 60...
There's at least
Just about 60
Animated
animated
films?
ones,
Yeah.
if you don't include the hybrids. And I think this is now 11 that have been announced that are coming up. I think 11 coming out. So I'm just, at this point, I refuse to have emotions about them. I feel like, in general, I am sick of hearing about all these announcements, but now accepting that I'm just going to hear 50 more announcements until they finish out their catalog.
I'm amazed at how fast they're
Yeah.
getting these out.
That's why I think we're going to get all of them. Is they're
I kind
literally
of think
saying,
so too, but it
first
amazes
person to come to me with something from our catalog.
And then my next question is, what happens when they run out?
They're going to keep making animated movies. Ish. I don't know if Pixar is going to count when they're remaking.
But they're making, what, 3 a year now of the
Yeah.
live action? And they're making
There's
one
going to be
year
a point
of-
where they've done live action Frozen and they can't do anymore.
Big Hero 6.
I'm
I think
okay
was
with
after
that one,
Frozen.
actually.
Yeah,
I'm
that
okay
wouldn't
with
bother
that
me
one.
even
Right?
a little.
The Marvel Studios needs to do it, not Disney.
Yes.
They need to let the company they
I'm
own
okay
do
with
it.
that one.
And Stanley
Um,
just plays his own
So,
Yes.
Aladdin prequel
It'll be
is
in 20
is-
years, though.
Is that a
He's
genie
still around.
origin story or what?
I hope it's a genie origin story that
It
they
is.
answer all
It
of the
is.
problems. It is.
It is.
Here's my biggest problem with Aladdin that they should go into.
Oh, do tell.
Oh, do tell. When Aladdin wishes to be made a prince, it is implied that the genie's magic is complete and he actually makes him into a prince, including his entourage that comes and make way for Prince Ali. That means that the genie made a nation of people.
From
nothing.
There's an interesting point.
So are they just... But they can't just be mirages, they can't just... Which means that the genie actually had to have created an entire civilization.
False.
that disappears.
False.
Well, either disappears or continues to exist. Point is, the genie has reality-bending powers. I want to know,
How?
like what, or how genie became genie. I guess.
You're gonna
what
find that
happens
out in the
is-
Doctor Strange movie?
No, how genies work is they can create, it's what's known as a phantasmal force, which for all intents and purposes exists wholly unless you make a saving throw
don't
versus
need him.
intelligence. Which if you say, for some reason I don't believe this actually exists, then you can make a saving throw, and if you succeed, then it'll
D20
dissipate.
over your
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, over your intelligence stat.
Okay.
But if nobody around, it's perfectly natural in that kingdom to see an entourage with a prince, so they're not going to outright disbelieve him, except for Jafar, which I think is why we don't see that entourage just like milling about Agrabah.
So,
what you-
science is what you're saying?
No. Dungeons and Dragons, pure magic.
I was gonna say, it
Okay,
actually
but it's a
sounded
phantasmal
psychological
force.
to me.
Yeah.
So
Look it up. This is in the manual.
it's really, there's gonna be hopefully no Aladdin in this movie, right?
I don't know what they could do with him.
I don't
It's-
either, and I hope there's no Aladdin in it because I
Yeah.
just think that would really mess things up.
The description I read said it is a prequel, and it's the
Yes.
story of how the genie gets trapped in the lamp, which we know has been 10,000 years.
Cool.
So Aladdin is nowhere, he's not even a glint. His grandfather isn't a glint.
Yeah.
Hashtag glint.
Okay. How about Sword in the Stone? Ian McKellen. Done.
Is it? Really? Do we know this?
I just made
Suddenly
that up.
everything's better.
Benedict Cumberbatch plays the wizard.
And all
Martin
of the characters.
Freeman plays...
Yeah, actually, Benedict Cumberbatch would do equally well. Patrick Stewart would be great.
Let's just,
Yeah.
Who's good in British?
Johnny Depp.
What? Does he have a nationality? I think he belongs to the world.
No, I
He's a
do not
pirate.
want a Johnny
Yeah.
Depp. Yeah.
He's a pirate Candyman.
And he's already in Alice in Wonderland. We can't start connecting these universes.
Well, that, and it's just the same movie over and over again, so I don't want to. Isn't it? He's the same guy in every movie.
I don't know if this was like a speculation or if this was true, but it seemed like it was going to be in a Game of Thrones style.
The writers. Is that right?
From Game of
From Game
Thrones,
of
yes.
Thrones
That's
are
where Game of
doing-
Thrones came out.
So there is that connection there, so that could make it interesting a little bit more.
What rating are we going with here? Because this could get odd.
PG.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a reference to
family-friendly.
that, and I wonder
No,
if there's
it
going to be a
could
scene
be-
like this.
It could be an interesting thing, and it will be interesting to see what rating it ends up being.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just glad we finally get a live-action movie about King Arthur.
that's never been done before. The Good Dinosaur.
Good.
They released a
yes.
trailer this morning, bright and early at 8 a.m. or whenever it was. And what'd you think of the trailer, real quickly?
I like it.
Good.
I'm still really thrown off by the design of the title Good Dinosaur, because as soon as the trailer
I'm
starts,
thrown
you
off
start
by the design of the dinosaur. Like, they
Yeah.
have so much that looks photorealistic.
exactly.
And then you have this rubbery...
Lurpy kind of.
It reminds me of...
What was that verb?
Phony.
Lurpy.
Lurpy.
Yeah.
Lurpy.
Blur.
What's the green guy that used to bend?
Gumby.
Gumby. It reminds me of Gumby.
Stretch
Yeah.
Armstrong.
Like,
he wasn't
he's
great.
kind of got a Gumby look, and then the kid is more realistic, traditional Pixar looking kid also, or new traditional Pixar looking, I guess. I don't know.
He looks like
confused.
Neanderthal baby Carl from Up.
It is all connected.
There you go.
Great
We saw the ancestor of Randall in there too.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah, there's a lot of
closely.
interesting things in it. It looks...
I really hope
I never know how to... Yeah, I hope he is too.
I hope John Ratzenberger plays a big green T-Rex. Or no, I keep getting this wrong. I hope Wallace Shawn is playing the T-Rex.
Ratzenberger's going to be the asteroid.
Yeah. Missed!
Actually, there's a
Right
clip
now,
of
maybe he's the other asteroid that says you're fired.
You didn't do too good there.
there's a minor clip of a what is it, Triceratops, or what's the
Yeah,
other?
with the
Right,
things
with like,
on it,
yeah,
except
all up
it's
in
got
here.
more
And
than 3
And it's got
horns.
this like cross-eyed look, and I'm certain that's John Ratzenberger.
That would not surprise me at all.
The biggest question I had coming out of it, because they say the word hello at one point, although it's not on screen. I'm curious, who's talking, who's not, how communication is going to work in this.
I believe the dinosaur is the one talking.
Okay.
From what I've read, it appears that the human. And that's the end of the show. I think the human is
Mine's
like
on
a
silent.
I think
Wasn't
that
me.
might be me.
Mine doesn't ding.
Okay.
Maybe it should.
It goes ding when there's stuff, but...
So we have some sibling
Yes, and I
rivalry
can't
going
think of why.
on Twitter.
fun.
Is that-
William
is that Dr.
Fonda
Bill?
said,
It is, okay.
Caitlin Noel hates Gumby. This makes the good dinosaur that much better.
And all in caps too.
And all in caps, thank you. Yeah. So, do you think is it worth seeing opening night?
Yes.
Yes.
I have enough faith.
Okay. I think Pixar carries
Pixar,
a
it
little
goes
bit
to the
further.
front
If it's
line.
anybody else, it'd be kind of like, I don't know. Okay,
Well, they did
so
make Bugs
last thing we're going to talk about tonight is they released the pilot, I guess it's called, of The Muppets, which is coming out on ABC on September 22nd, if I'm correct. And so we got about just under 10 minutes of what this show potentially will be like. I know I think I read that they're changing Denise, like that pig. They're changing her look because somebody didn't like it or something. But what'd you think of this pilot thingamabob?
Do you want to start on this one? I've been starting a lot.
I think it has a huge amount of potential.
I agree.
I think there's a lot that could go wrong.
It's a Muppet show.
Yeah, it's,
Come on.
but that's exactly, the Muppets need to have this air that everything can explode at any second. They're
Yeah.
much more. I don't want to say sketchy, but they have the air of them falling off at any moment, and it's a really tight rope to walk, especially if they're doing a series with them, which has been done before. Well, but
Yeah.
it's just replicating that and still making it fresh and relevant is going to be tough. But I think
On
it
a
can be done.
weekly basis.
Yes.
Like that's going to be hard, and keeping like they've already kind of touched on the whole Kermit and Miss Piggy thing, and the tension that's going to be there. And I wonder how long you can stretch that story out and not get people upset. You know, it's just kind of the Jim and Pam thing, but different from The Office. And you can only take those stories so far, and then you have to go somewhere else.
And it looks like they're
Otherwise-
already self-aware of that comparison, so...
Yeah, but you can't just replicate The
Right.
Office because people are going to get bored with that too. What did you think, Johnny?
My first reaction is it just looked like an extended version of the thing we've already seen.
Just starting early. That's okay though.
When you're sitting
That means we're
here,
running
it
out of
sounds like
time.
it's hissing.
It is.
It really
Anyway,
sounds like a creature.
We only have a minute.
It
So
looked like an extended version of things I had already seen, but the guest
It
stars
was.
thing, it absolutely was. The guest stars thing was new.
That was
and
funny.
seeing some of the guest stars, I'm interested to see if this is like an Office type thing with recurring characters, how you're going to get away with a constantly revolving door of guest stars.
Yeah.
Because, you can't hire...
Because you don't want it to be like the end of The Office where they kept throwing
No.
people in that made no sense and were really kind of boring.
But you've got to have A-listers, and you can only have them for one episode,
Yeah.
I think, to be fair. Or maybe a callback at the end of the series.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how they keep that part going with budget and...
And keeping it fresh.
Yeah.
Like,
I think watching this, my second thought was, man, I hope this gets more than one season.
Yeah.
Like, that's my fear, is
Yeah.
that they're not going to get renewed because
well, I hope
of
they get a full season.
whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Like, I want it to take off, but we kind of have a track record with the Muppets of being disappointed in recent years. And as much as some of us love recent movies, like full-scale movies, even then, like the second one wasn't as popular as it could have been, and so I do have to wonder how successful this can be.
I got one more thing to throw down.
Do it. Please do.
I would love to see the Muppets get involved in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agent Carter Dub Smash competition and have them start uploading some Dub Smash videos.
And that would be a way for them to keep relevant, is if they're throwing stuff at other ABC, Marvel properties.
I want Clark Gregg on this show.
Like, that would be... Yeah. That would be really
He's
cool.
right across the hall. Just drag him over.
Now, do you want him as Clark Gregg or as Agent Coulson? Because I could see them believing he's Agent Coulson.
So being the person, but them treating him as nothing but Agent Coulson
Exactly.
the entire time. Everybody look busy!
That's
how I would treat him if
that could be like a whole story arc. Like, that would be awesome.
Hashtag
Anyway,
voice
we are running out of time tonight. We'd love to hear what you thought about all of these things. Please leave comments, please share, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we like subscribers, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, we look forward to seeing you next week, and for now, we'll see you around the corner.
Geek out.